Join us as I ride Maryland's rail commuter system, MARC, on the Penn line. We'll travel from Perryville, Maryland to Washington, D.C. on Amtrak's Northeast Corridor. I'm Ralph from Ralph's Trip Reports, and welcome to this week's video. Happy opening day! Today, the Phillies are in Washington, D.C. to take on the Washington Nationals at 4:05. And I thought the easiest way to get there without any hassle would be to take the train. We are currently outside of Baltimore in the suburb of Perryville, Maryland, where we're going to take the train into Washington to go to the game, and then later on I'll take the train back out. So this is a new system to the channel, and for me, this is my first time riding MARC 2, so it'll be exciting, so come along for the journey. MARC's Perryville station has been around since the early 1900s. However, a $1 million renovation was recently done in the early 2000s, bringing it up to today's standards. Inside, you see a train museum, which is open on the weekends when MARC is not running. And here comes our train. Pushing us to DC is MARC MP36 PH-3C diesel locomotive number 11 with 6 Kawasaki Mark III cars trailing. So before we go get on the train, here's a little bit about MARC. MARC stands for the Maryland Area Rail Commuter System, MARC for short. MARC has 3 lines. The Penn line, which we're going to be riding today, goes from here in Perryville, Maryland, south to Washington Union Station on Amtrak's Northeast Corridor. Next up, we have the Camden line. The Camden line goes from Camden Yards in Baltimore south to Washington Union Station on weekday-only service. And thirdly, we have the Brunswick line. This runs from Martinsburg, West Virginia, south to Washington, D.C. All trains on MARC end at Washington Union Station. So another fun fact about MARC is that this line uses Amtrak's Northeast Corridor. And our train is being powered by a diesel locomotive. A little strange if you ask me. They do have some electric locomotives like the HHP-8, which is a rarity in America these days. But unfortunately, we're going to be on a diesel train today. But that's okay. And now let's board. Boarding the Mark III cars and stepping into the car, you can see that you walk in on the main level, which then has steps to both the upper and lower level. The seats on this train are pretty comfortable, and yes, the train does have overhead luggage racks. Heading down to the lower level, we see that it's much of the same as on the upper floor. As far as legroom goes, it's okay for a commuter train, but really the most you're going to be on this train is a couple hours on the Brunswick line. The most you'll be on it on this line is 1 hour and 45 minutes.
Next station stop is Aberdeen, with connections to Amtrak and Hartford County Transit. All doors will open. Please exit the train.
Immediately upon departing the station, we switch on to the Northeast Corridor and then cross the Susquehanna River Bridge. The bridge dates back to the early 1900s. However, a new bridge is currently in the process of being built on the right-hand side. This bridge should hopefully open sometime in the next decade.
Now arriving at Aberdeen, with connections to Amtrak and Hartford County Transit.
After picking up speed, we quickly reach our first stop of Aberdeen. After departing Aberdeen, we encounter multiple water crossings on our journey. If you haven't noticed already, most MARC stations are low-level platforms requiring stairs to reach the train. However, a select number of stations are ADA accessible, with lifts available for customers that need them. never seen this anywhere. And I can't believe they allow this. You have to cross 3 tracks of the Northeast Corridor to get on this train here. That is absolutely crazy.
Next station stop is Baltimore Penn Station, with connections to Amtrak, Light Rail Link, City Link Link, City Link Silver, and Buckle Link.
We are quickly approaching Baltimore and then entering the B&P tunnels, which will take us to Baltimore Penn Station, the halfway mark on our journey today. After exiting the tunnel, we reach Baltimore Penn Station. This is the downtown Baltimore stop for Amtrak and MARC trains.
Baltimore Penn Station, with connections to Amtrak, Light Rail Link, City Link Link, to City Link Link, City Link Park, City Link Link, and Buckle Link.
Now let's take a look at the restroom on today's train. The restroom was still spotless and well maintained, so kudos to MARC for that. So we're about half to 3/4 of the way through the trip. We're almost to BWI Airport soon after Hallathorpe. The trip's going pretty well. The seats are pretty comfortable. They're okay. Not like an Amtrak Amfleet 2 car, but it'll do the trick. It's only an hour and 45 minutes on the train, so overall, I thought the train really got packed at Martin State Airport and Baltimore Penn Station. It's a great trip so far, so we're on our way in. Should be into Washington in about another half hour, 45 minutes. So let's head back to the seat.
Now arriving at BWI Perfect Marshall Airport Level Station, with connections to Amtrak.
And we are now reaching the BWI Airport Station. This is where you would exit the train for flights at BWI Airport. After a few more local stops, we quickly reach New Carrollton, the last stop on the NEC before Washington Union Station. This is also the beginning of the Orange Line on the DC Metro system.
Next station stop is the last station, Washington Union Station.
And just like that, we are now arriving at Washington Union Station. MARC uses the upper level of Union Station, mostly using tracks 7 through 12 for their trains. And welcome to Washington, D.C. Man, walking out into this never gets old. I tell you, this is one of the grandest stations in the United States. It's always awesome to see this. So, what did I think about MARC? Well, I thought it was a good trip. I thought everything was on time. The train was clean. It wasn't dirty. I thought it was a good experience. So, I have a few hours to kill here in D.C. before I head over to Nationals Park. So, and then we'll take the train home. So, another thing I really like about Union Station is the fact that it's so close to everything. And that's the thing about taking the train. Everybody's like, oh, you should fly from D.C. to New York. I disagree. The train is a great option, and literally, if you had to go to work here, you could literally be in the U.S. Capitol in 15 minutes by walking. And after all that, it was time for some baseball. And what a great day it was. The Phillies ended up winning 7-3. Hi. It's been the first time in a long time, if not ever, that I've been on the mall at night. Take a look at this view behind me. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And then back here, you have the Capitol right there. So now it's time to head back to Perryville. So, as I was telling you earlier, there is really low ridership on that part of the line. So they don't run that many trains to Perryville. There's only a select few trains. We're going to be getting the 9:10 train back to Perryville tonight. So come along for the ride. Entering Union Station, we can head towards Gate C, which is where all MARC trains leave from. Because I got the same type of train on the way back, I didn't film much and slept for most of the trip. However, before you knew it, we were approaching Perryville, the last stop on our trip. Well, that just about does it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate all your support. If you could please hit the subscribe button, it would really help my subscriber count here on YouTube. Thanks for watching. God bless, and I'll see you next time.